Welcome back to Will Interviews. Today I'm here with,
Trey, Amici.
and could you talk about what you do and everything?
So I'm actually a soccer player slash fashion designer.
Mm-hmm.
So I own a brand called Amici Dion,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's just like the beginning for it right now.
Yeah, I like the title soccer player and fashion designer. I think that's sick.
something like that.
Yeah. Could you explain how Amici Dion started and what your motivation was starting it?
Yeah, so pretty much when I started Amici Dion, I was already like designing clothes in a way, but it was
Mhm.
just more so for myself. And I started getting response from like people little by little when I post like, yo, where'd you get this pants? Where'd you get that jacket? Or yo, how much did that cost? I'll be like, bro, like I made it. They're like, how much would you charge me for it if you made me one? I'll be like, bro.
So people are trying to buy customs.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't make customs. I was
Yeah.
sorry. I was
Yeah.
like, it's just more so for myself. And then at one point I was like, maybe I should start a brand. But
Mhm.
then I started hesitating because I was playing soccer. I still am, but you know, when you're playing soccer like a sport, you have to be 100% committed to it, especially if you're trying to go to like being a professional and high level and stuff. So
Yeah.
there was a time frame where I went to Spain and I was playing out in Spain,
Mhm.
doing trials and stuff, and I was there during preseason and the season and stuff, and like I would have trainings at like 9 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
finish like around 11, eat, and then 1 p.m. would hit, and I'd have nothing to do for the rest of the day.
So the whole day was empty.
The whole day was just empty.
Jeez,
So then
yeah.
I would just be at home, just looking at clothes, just
Uh-huh.
on Essence, on Vogue, on different apps, just looking at clothes like, yo, like, what if I remade this jacket? Or what if I designed this? What if I designed that?
Yeah.
And then it got into me making my own pieces. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just turn this into a business. If I have
Mhm.
all this time on my hands, I should probably like start something that people would enjoy as well.
Yeah, or just do something with it.
Yeah, so literally like I came up with that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to push it out.
Mhm.
And coming up with the name took me like, I kid you not, probably like 10 months to like
Really?
a year. Yeah.
That it took you that long to pin down a name?
Yeah, because I was like, I want something meaningful, because you see all these brands that are like,
Kind of be one-offs, yeah.
yeah, they're kind of one-offs. Like they'll come up with a name like Marshalls.us or like
Yeah.
something that's like,
Something kind of arbitrary. that
yeah,
doesn't have
like
much
there's
meaning, yeah.
there's not much meaning. Like you look at all these names, like Louis Vuitton is an actual person's
Yeah,
name.
that was the guy.
That's an actual person's name. You
Uh-huh.
look at Yves Saint Laurent, that's an actual person's name.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of brands that have a lot of meaning behind it, but a lot of brands nowadays there's not real much meaning behind it. So it's
Yeah.
like, I gotta create something that has meaning, that showcases my life, showcases what I believe is true,
Mhm.
and then just correlates like all of it together.
Yeah, it
So-
correlates to the vision that you're trying to.
correlates the vision that I'm trying to have. So
Yeah.
then I came up with Amici Dion. Amici Dion is actually French and Greek mixed together.
Mhm.
Amici is Italian, actually. It stands for friends.
Okay.
And then Dion stands from heaven.
Friends from Heaven?
Yeah, so
Oh, wow.
I ended up creating the whole thing, and I was like, you know what? Like, friends from heaven sent to earth.
Okay.
That's like the whole slogan behind it. I haven't really pushed it out yet
Huh.
because I'm still trying to find out different visions on how to push that out. But
Yeah, and that could be like, say you have some subtext on a shirt or something.
Yeah,
Like, that could be
so-
a little description.
yeah, so I came up with that name because of the people that like I honestly surround myself around, you know?
Mhm.
Like meeting new people and seeing like God, like the universe put these people in my life.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely vibe with them. Like I'm vibing with you right now. Like,
Yeah,
I
totally.
would consider you a friend from heaven.
Friend from Heaven sent to Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah, No, I
exactly.
like that.
So
yeah.
like literally like that's what like I live my whole life on. It's just meeting genuine people,
Uh-huh.
being a genuine person, and just like living life, like enjoying life, honestly. So
No, that's great. That's like inspirational. Totally. Yeah.
yeah, so
Could you talk about how you make the vision in terms of like the photo shoots and the modeling shoots that you've done, kind of like show that message, because it looks like a community kind of in the pictures. Like it'll be like 3 people and they all look like they're having a fun time. Like, is that
Yeah.
intentional?
yeah, so that's very intentional. Like the one thing I try not to do is limit what my brand could actually do,
Mm-hmm.
like in terms of photo shoots and all that stuff. Like I want to showcase like it is a brand about friends from heaven to earth, but I
Mhm.
want to showcase it like in a calm way, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I definitely try to push behind the scenes of like showing people vibing out and all that stuff with the
Yeah.
intention of showing like, hey, like I want to build a community, or I want you to feel like when you wear this piece and you have something in common with someone else, this is something you're going to talk about, and you guys are going to go into other interests, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, whether it's
Fashion,
music,
even more.
fashion, even more, different things. And that's like been the biggest thing behind every single shoe. Is just, how do I captivate, showcasing friends just vibing out.
Yeah, and like you're part of something bigger wearing the piece that you're wearing, and then that translates into this friendship that you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like I try so hard. Like I have a vision of like an aesthetic of like, yo, we're gonna go shoot on top of a truck today, or we're gonna go downtown and we're gonna do this vibe. Okay, cool. Now it's just a matter of who do I invite to do the shoot. When I invite the people to do the shoot, I tell them like, bro, vibe out.
Yeah.
Don't even worry. Like,
yeah, super
I don't
low
come,
key, super
yeah,
just like natural.
Like I don't come in with poses like, yo, like I'll come in with some references just little by little, but I'll be like, bro, just flow with it. Like if you guys are having a conversation, talking, laughing about something so stupid, please do so, because
that's the moment you want.
Like that's the moment I want. That's the moment I want people to feel like they're enjoying. Like I have pictures where I haven't posted yet, but I want to, where like I have girls just laughing about, I forgot what they were talking about. Yeah,
but just something random.
It was something so stupid. I started laughing behind the scenes too. But you like, in one of the pictures, they're laughing so hard, and it's such a sick picture because it looks like it was super planned, but it was not planned. Yeah. So it's like that's what I really try to captivate, is friends just vibing out.
Yeah, and even to capture that moment, that like moment that you have experienced with one of your friends, of course. Yeah. But just like to see that on film, like I mean, totally makes the whatever you're selling alongside it.
Yeah, so like I really try to treasure quality pieces with great friendships. Yeah. So it's like just the bond of creating quality pieces and then creating a quality friendship. Yeah. So that's what like kind of the pieces stand for. It's just quality in general. So that's a great
balance. So in the bio of your whole page, it says lifestyle brand. Could you talk about what that means for Amici Dion? Like how is it a lifestyle brand?
So pretty much, you know, like it's so crazy. I try to find the right words in such a short form. But like when I see Amici Dion as a lifestyle brand, like I said, it correlates with your friends. And it's whatever you truly want to make it, you know? Like once you have a great group of friends that you feel resonate to you, bringing like enjoyment into your life, fulfillment in your life, and like you could turn to them all the time, that's a lifestyle for you, you know? Yeah. Because let's say, for example, like how you're doing your podcast, you're surrounding yourself with people that are creatives, that are doing different things that interest you, and that's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle doing it and being around this.
Yeah, like regardless, like if you're around soccer players or basketball players or athletes and stuff, and you surround yourself with athletes that want to take it to another level, that's a lifestyle. Yeah. So it's like, I want to show people when they're creating, like when they have my pieces, they're living a lifestyle no matter what. Like this is one step to you building your lifestyle. That's what Amici Dion is about. It's you being on the path of building a lifestyle that you want to live. So like it's the beginning of it. I don't have all the tools for it yet, totally. But like it's the start. Yeah, it's just the start, you know. So it's been like the biggest thing.
It seems like it's not that Amici Dion is this whole lifestyle that you're pushing that has these like steps to be a part of it. It's like the pieces kind of adapt to whatever lifestyle the person who buys them wants.
Yeah, exactly. So like I try to make it like this piece is created for you to take it to whatever extent you want to take it to, because you know that's the whole extent of fashion.
Yeah, dress it up, dress it down.
Dress it up, dress it down. Do whatever you want to do. I don't want like, even with me making like the tracksuit that I just recently made, I want people to dress it up, dress it down, however the hell that they want to do. Like if they want to put on, like how I'm wearing my hoodie right now, I'm wearing it with a pair of jeans and a pair of docs. Yeah. When it's a whole tracksuit, and I'm just like, you know what? Like I want people to have that creative vision with their own outfits, you know.
Have that flexibility, just with this piece that could mean so many different things.
Yeah. So like it's just really how people want to correlate it in their own lifestyle, you know. So that's been like the biggest thing with making it a lifestyle brand.
Yeah, that's sick. Another question I had about the lifestyle brand thing was that most brands who label themselves in that way are catered more towards like essentials, like essential pieces of, say, like a tracksuit like you had. Yeah. Is that hard in terms of manufacturing, just in like the more minute details that you have to get right with it? Because I know that not as much cut goes in, or not as much like design elements go into that. It's more the cut of it and the way you manufacture it.
Yeah, so the biggest thing has been like understanding the proportions and like the fabric of it, you know, because like everybody that does essentials, like that's the main thing that they worry about. How's this going to drape on the body? How's this going to fit on the body? And how is it going to feel on the body?
How's it going to feel? How's it going to wash?
How's it going to wash? So like that has been like the biggest detail like for me behind the scenes of like pushing out a certain idea. Like there's certain ideas where I'm like sitting on right now that I'm like sampling right now where I'm like, holy cow, like am I actually going to like this? Like will it actually feel right? Like maybe I'll like it, but how will my consumers react to it? So I spend so much more time rather than like focusing like on a super big graphic design or something like that'll take so much attention away from like other details that you have in your wardrobe. I try to like dumb it down right now to like a piece that's like flexible for your wardrobe, you know? And doing that, you know, you're trying, I don't know how to explain this, but like you're still trying to be different, but you're still trying to keep something that people are comfortable with.
Yeah, it seems like you're dialing in kind of the basics of like the silhouette and the basics of like a real foundational piece in your wardrobe, and then like you said, the jeans or the crazy accessories, those come second to this piece that you have. And it's kind of like a supplemental thing.
So it's like, for example, like I feel like with this hoodie, like the inspiration behind this hoodie was just I want to make it a little bit different, but not so completely different that someone feels like they only can wear this once in a while. If they want to wear this for comfort, they can wear this for comfort. But if they want to wear this to style it out in a different way, they can wear the style out in a different way. So like the only details I changed on this was just the pockets, because like I felt like everybody does the kangaroo pockets and stuff. So I was like, let me change it up. And then the quarter zip, I feel like the quarter zip has like been slept on for a while now.
And quarter zip with a hood is not really that common too.
It's not that common. So I was like, you know what, like let me bring this back. Like let me see what I can do with this to bring back like a style of comfort, but also something that feels just a little different, you know?
Yeah, and it's good because it differentiates itself while also just being a black hoodie at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So like I try to focus more on creating timeless pieces that are innovative at the same time. So like that's been like my biggest focus.
Yeah, that's sick. While you were growing up, I just want to like backtrack a little bit. What was your introduction into fashion, and like when did you start caring about it?
Wow. Okay.
Because I feel like everybody remembers.
Yeah, I do. The biggest like reason I got into fashion was because of my mom.
Really?
Yeah. So she's not like every other mom. Like every other person has that cool story where their mom teaches them how to sew or any of that stuff. Oh no, my mom was she loved fashion. Like
really?
She dressed up. Like she would dress up. She would go thrifting. She would find best things that she could mix with high designer stuff and like create like a little mix for herself. And the biggest thing that she would tell me is like, yo, I'm like creating like your wardrobe for you to be different from like everybody else. That's like the biggest thing.
From the other kids at school.
Yeah, from the other kids at school. Like I was just trying to like, I'd listen to her. I'd be like, I don't want to do that. I think what you're saying to me makes no sense. I try to follow the trends of like rocking the cargo shorts with camo shorts with the long socks and bands and the snapback, all that stuff.
Just what everybody else is
doing. And then she was over here like, I'm going to put you on baggy jeans and some boots with a shirt. With a shirt that fits right on you. And how old were you? I was like 11. Like she was doing it all the way up until like I hit so you could dress yourself until I was like in 7th grade. I'll be honest with you, she was like really like, we're gonna go shopping and I'm gonna pick out every single thing that you wear practically. So like that's rare. It's rare, but like I would really do that. Like I kid you not, I think I would fight with my mom at the stores about like, Ma, can I get this? No. She would everybody has it. So if this person jumps off a hill, you're gonna jump off a hill? Really? Like that's the type of story that she would give me every time. Like I'd pick a clothing item that followed everybody else. She'd be like, "There's no reason for you to wear it. Like you're trying to fit in for what? Like just be yourself. Like just do something different." Yeah, so, she was pushing being different from jump. Yeah. So obviously I did not listen. I didn't want to be like that. So I was kind of like until like junior high, like I want to say 8th grade, 9th grade year was when I started like making the transition of doing my own thing, making my own style in a way, trying different things out and trying to separate from the trend. But it was just a matter of not having all the funds to like
Yeah, to
do
really
it.
just like have your whole style.
Yeah,
I feel like that's something everybody goes through.
Yeah, so like I try to be lenient because I hated asking my parents for money
Mhm.
and stuff, even though like I was fortunate enough to have,
Yeah.
you know, care from them in a way that they could give me money if I needed money,
Yeah.
you know.
If
But I
you
never,
ask sometimes.
yeah,
You try
but
not to.
yeah, I try not to because my parents were refugees. They came here. They like built their whole system on like
Mhm.
hard work, doing things, being strategic.
Just effort.
Yeah,
in
just
general.
effort, just you know, planning out everything was just like, okay, I need to be strategic with the way I ask my parents
Yeah.
for money. Like if I ask them for money at the beginning of the year to start school, like to go get new clothes, I need to plan out what am I going to buy
Yeah, so you don't
at
just
this
waste
time.
it.
Yeah, so I don't just waste it and
Or
make
just
sure.
look ungrateful.
Yeah,
too,
so
'cause
then
of-
that way it's something that like I can wear throughout the whole year. It's not something that I'm gonna wear for 3 months and then be like, oh, I need something new. You know?
And you didn't have a uniform or anything. It was all
No,
just,
it was just all dress however you want to
Yeah.
dress. So,
that's interesting. I always like, because I did have a uniform,
mhm.
and it shaped some weird things about like what I like about fashion. Like I could only like express what I did through shoes.
Yeah.
And so always I'm trying to get the craziest shoes. It's because that's like my statement every time, because that's the
Yeah.
only thing I could ever do a statement.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm through creating, like I feel like everybody needs a way of like expressing themselves through their clothes, you know?
Mhm.
Like regardless, like a person could say like you're gonna see a person's a very simple person by the way that they dress. If they're just gonna wear a regular white t-shirt,
Mhm.
Wrangler jeans with
Yeah.
running shoes, you know that they're just a simple person.
Or just like sweatpants.
Yeah, like they don't really care too much about detail to fashion, but you know like that's their expression of like I'm a simple person.
Yeah, they're showing something with
Yeah.
that, regardless if they care about fashion or not.
Yeah, so then you have the people that do care about fashion that are like, bro, like I love bold pieces or I love calm pieces. Like
Yeah.
this resonates to me. And like you see when you see a person's fashion, you kind of see like the lifestyle that they want to live in
Yeah.
a sense.
It's kind of like it's expression, but it's like a peek into what they want to do.
Yeah, like the best example I could say is like you look at a rapper and like they wear designer clothes and all that stuff. You know that they're living a rapper lifestyle.
Yeah, or they want to put on one. If
Yeah.
they're even not.
Or like you look at an R&B artist that wears more like boots and like minimalist like silhouettes and stuff. You know, like they're an R&B artist that like loves calm stuff.
There's a
know?
look to the R&B
Yeah,
artist,
there's a certain look. You get what I'm saying?
You
Yeah,
know, like you could show me one and I could be like,
yeah,
probably
like
does R&B, not that.
yeah, exactly. Versus you would look at a person wearing like rapper type attire and then be like, and then you wouldn't be able to know like they're an R&B artist if they were to say they're an R&B artist.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it'd be off kilter.
Yeah, it'd be off kilter. So it's just like, bro, like fashion for me is like, it really is just a super, like a super way that it's a superpower. Really, in my opinion, it's a superpower to express yourself, and that's what like I really enjoy about it because everybody deserves to express themselves one way or another, and
it helps confidence too. Like that's the biggest thing, is because like
biggest thing.
it's like a tool in a way, because you want to feel your best in whatever you're wearing. It's like you were saying, that normal dude might feel his best in that, and that's great. Like,
yeah.
That's my thing that I try to push to anybody around me. It's just wear whatever makes you feel confident. It doesn't have to be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, bro, like if you feel like you want to wear a pair of sweats and some slides and a t-shirt, because like that's like my normal go-to, bro, do that.
Go
like,
for it. Yeah.
Go for it. Like don't let what social media puts out there disturb your peace with fashion. Like
or just like get in your head and like kind of live in there.
Yeah, like I feel like too many people focus on like what people on social media are gonna say like is fashion and isn't fashion. Everything's fashion.
Or is good or is bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you love it, you love it. That's it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and something could be like subjectively trash to me.
Yeah.
But to that guy, it might be.
Oh yeah.
The freshest thing in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I hate I'll be honest, like the way that rappers dress. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, some people like the Amici jeans and everything.
Yeah, the Amici jeans with the big Balenciaga shoes and then the tight t-shirt, white t-shirt with the big chains. I'm like, bro.
It's always like Moneybagg Yo ass rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, bro, like I don't like that at all. But like, if you love it, bro, go ahead, have your peace with it. Like that's you. That represents you. But I'm not a fan of it.
And I think some of those people are getting fed clothes from like stylists, but like say if you were to be a professional soccer player, you wouldn't have a stylist, would you?
No.
Yeah.
Not one bit. I feel like a stylist really like they do open up your eyes to trying out new stuff and everything, but at the same time, you're not the one that's finding your creativity and like what you like and dislike, you know? Like you're paying a stylist this amount of money and saying, hey, bring out these looks for me, like bring out whatever for me, like I want to try something different. You try it out, you don't like it, and you're like, now you just wasted money on that.
Yeah, you wasted money and kind of your time too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I feel like the athletes that do have stylists, that's great. Being a stylist is not an easy job because you really do have to look into attention to detail on how like this piece represents this client and stuff, you know.
Yeah, or what you want them to be putting out through fashion. Yeah,
but like at the same time, I'm just like, bro, like you just express yourself the way that you want to.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
like,
even if that's not crazy.
Yeah, like it's
stuff.
okay. Like if you want to wear plain skinny jeans with some Jordan 1s and a graphic tee, bro, go ahead. Like
true. Yeah.
Or if you want to.
It's just to each their own, And I'd say if I made it in that sense, I'd like know a stylist so I could have access to stuff. But just like on like a rent kind of thing. I'd try to dress myself.
Like I love working with stylists in the sense of like, let's say like I'm making like a 10-piece collection or something. Like I have like ideas. I'll be like, yo, how would you style this? Like in what ways? Like just because of the fact like I'm a person trying to push out to consumers. Yeah. You know, you only see you can only see certain things, not from a consumer perspective, but like a business perspective. The person that's pushing it out,
you don't see it a certain way.
Yeah, you can only see it. Yeah, you can only see it a certain way. So sometimes it's hard to get out of a way like, oh, you know, like how would an actual customer that doesn't pertain to like my target audience actually dress this? Yeah, totally. So like they'll come and be like, yo, like I have a perspective of a regular customer that would put it like this, and I'll be like, oh, I did not know you could do it like that.
Yeah, you just don't see it. It's like when some friend of yours says something that you've been thinking about that's so simple, and you just said it like way better than you could ever think about it.
Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, like, you know what? I like that's the one thing about stylists. Like I love that because like I really can go to them and say like, yo, like, what other pieces would you put this with? Because personally, I'm just thinking about simple pieces I'd put this with. So what other exotic pieces or like what other simple pieces that I'm not seeing would you put this with? Yeah, and like
just how would you make it your vision? Like, how would you use it in your vision?
Yeah, so like that's the one thing great about a stylist. But like I said, like as an athlete, I feel like athletes should just have way more fun just picking out the pieces themselves.
Yeah, because that'd be fun. You'd have money and stuff. Like you could really go crazy.
Yeah, you really could. Like bro, you see all these athletes that have their whole like they have one wall in their house that's just dedicated to shoes.
Hundreds of shoes. Or just a whole closet that's like walk-in size of this whole room. Like.
Yup, and I'm like, bro, I would love a life like that.
I know, yeah. I'd just have unlimited essence money, dude. Oh,
no, seriously,
that'd be crazy.
The amount of fun I'd just have with my closet, especially my girlfriend, the amount of fun that she would have with just buying whatever she wants.
Totally, and it's dangerous having a girlfriend too and being into fashion because you'd be like, you see something and then.
Yeah, no, it's so crazy because my girlfriend's actually like, we're like vice versa. So like my girlfriend will see a piece, like I'll tell her like, bro, like to be honest, I'm open to like whatever you have in mind. Like if you think a pair of baggy jeans would look good on me with a pair of boots, go ahead and show me. Like I'll try it out. Yeah. Or if you think like a pair of like shorts with like some runners or something would look good on me, let me know. Like I'm willing to try it out. Yeah. So like now my girlfriend just goes anywhere. Like when she goes thrifting for herself and all that stuff, or she goes to the mall to shop or online shopping and she finds something that she thinks I'll wear, she gets it. Really? No hesitation. She's like, you'll look good in this. Like,
that's a good gig.
Take it. And I'm like, yo, like okay, say no more. So now I'm like looking at these pieces. I'm like, how would I match this with my own like brand? Like, like now that puts me in a creative space of like creating pieces that like could resonate to this type of style and stuff. So like I have fun with just that because of my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome that she can support you in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you talk about we talked earlier about how it's kind of a one-man show. Like you really do everything in this, and you talked about collaborating with stylists. What are some other times that collaboration has kind of helped push forward like a release or push forward an idea?
Yeah, so I actually have one of my boys. His name's Jesus. I call him Chewy. He runs he's a photographer. He has his own like little business called MVP Room.
Oh, cool.
Shout out to bro, because without him, some of the looks, some of the visions I would have like I've had, wouldn't be without him personally, you know, because I told him, I said, hey, like I would love to have you a part of like like my mission and stuff, because you're creating something for yourself, I'm creating something for myself. Like, let's work hand in hand to like help each other build a portfolio of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll tell them an idea. I'll be like, look, I have this idea for this hoodie or these pair of jeans or this, like when we're shooting, like I have an idea for this. He'll be like, all right, bet, bro. Like I see it. And then he'll come and like change that whole thing into something that becomes even way more exciting for me.
Really?
Yeah. Like
so
I'm
he'll
just
kind of
like,
transform it.
yeah.
You.
So like, I wasn't even gonna say this yet. Like the first hoodies that I've ever dropped, like, I was never actually wanting to like release it again, like in a better version. But he was like, bro, like I feel like on your anniversary of like your 1 year, because people did like actually like it, you should re-drop it. But like do it in a way, yeah, like rework it in a way that's like a 2.0, but like take the concept of like, you know how athletes get their signature shoe?
Yeah.
And like
it's like the second one.
Yeah, it's like they get their signature shoe and like it's because like they won an award or something, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like for soccer players like Messi, like he, like when he wins the golden ball and stuff, like they'll make a legendary shoe for him winning the golden ball.
Like a golden ball Messi one.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, like how about you do something like that with the 2.0 hoodie to showcase like your 1 year anniversary of you starting your brand? And I was like, bro, it's like that's honestly crazy. Like I was like, I'm a soccer player and like I get that whole concept, but like I never actually thought about like relating that concept into my own brand.
Yeah, or applying it to your situation.
Yeah,
it
so
just seems something like it seems so bigger scale, but it's like why can't you do it? There's
yeah,
no limitation.
there's no limitation. So he's the one that was telling me that, and like we had that conversation a couple weeks ago, and I was like, bro, like, I'm gonna actually take that and run with it.
That's
so,
sick.
like, with the photography as well as like on the business end of sides, like, shout out to like some of my friends, my dude Elvis, my dude Jose, Bronx X Pain, understanding my business. I'm like, bro, like he's going to business school and stuff.
Yeah, he's doing real estate.
Yeah.
That dude is like, I see people attack it in different ways, and that is one dude who like he does his due diligence and he is detailed in a way that you don't see every day. Yeah. So like he definitely like anytime like I have any advice, I'm like, bro, this part of my brand doesn't make sense. Like even though he doesn't run like a fashion brand, he gets it from like a business perspective, and I'm like, bro, okay, like he'll give me pointers and tips where I'm like, as soon as he says it, like I'm on to doing it right away. Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like a big bro in a sense. Yeah, so like he's like a big bro to me. And then Bronx as well, Jose, like he's been a big help for me as in terms of like, you know, understanding, hey, like you're at the beginning stage of your brand. None of the stuff that you do is gonna make sense right away. Just be consistent, bro. Like consistency really is.
Yeah, like eventually you'll find your audience. You'll draw your audience to you, and just keep working that way. And like he's like I told him like, okay, bet, like I'm gonna post a video next week. Bro was like, why are you gonna post a video next week? Post it today. Yeah. Like if you don't post it today, you're not gonna post it next week. Yeah, or it's just gonna sit there. Yeah, and I'm like you overthink it or something. Yeah, so I'm like, damn, like you know what? You're right. Like that makes sense. So like half of the time that I'm posting now is because of these people around me that are like, bro, like do this or do that. Like it makes sense to do this or do that. Like it makes sense that it's not going to make sense is what I'm saying. Yeah. Or like, it makes sense that it's kind of in a gray area and you just kind of have to establish it more and just more like, output to really get what you're trying to do out. Yeah, like it's like you don't have enough data to do, you know, analytics on it. Yeah. There's not enough data for the analytics to form and for you to be useful at all. Like you don't know any of that. So it's like, bro, just keep pushing stuff out. Just keep pushing it. Like if it makes no sense to you, later it'll make sense. You'll know what to stop doing and then what to start doing even more. Yeah. So in terms of like creative or in terms of like my business and stuff, like I definitely love like the people that I surround myself that kind of help me understand like how to keep a balance between my business and being a creative and how to just kind of keep pushing but also stay structured. So like organized chaos. Yeah, kind of like a great balance. It's like you're always weighing all these different things, but all keeping it kind of steady. Yeah. But and also like what you were saying with like just pushing it out or just pushing out a release, it's like the release can't impact your consumer base or the people who follow you if it's just sitting in the vault. No, seriously. So like the one thing, like I'll be honest with you, like I'm a very shy person. I'm like people see me like on social media as a person that looks like very outgoing, but like I kid you not, it probably takes me like 30 minutes. Like I can look at something I post on my story and it'll take me 30 minutes to decide if I'm gonna post that or not. Yeah. Like seriously, like I'm like like I can post a picture of just me being in my car listening to music. And I'm like, do I want to post this?
Yeah, like what is this gonna mean? But
like,
it's
it
not.
doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. So then like I'm starting like I'm trying to break out of that.
Yeah.
Because like running a business, like especially a fashion business, like
You
if you don't put yourself out there, nobody's gonna put you out there. You know, your brand's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like I have all this inventory at the house, and I'm over here thinking like I'm gonna sell out on the first day.
Yeah.
Sold out like 30% of inventory, but like the rest of inventory, the 70% still sitting there.
Yeah, still sitting there. So what do I do?
I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Like at first I always had like the dream of like selling out, like having like a sold out drop.
Yeah, you want a drop to be done in like 10.
Yeah, but then I'm like realizing like, okay, like look at all these other brands, like especially the bigger brands, like they didn't just sell out their first drop. Like they pushed this out. They probably took them a whole month before stock even sold out and stuff. So
or
like
they're doing made to order and just doing like 5 pieces.
Yeah. So like I'm just like, okay, like I gotta understand that concept of like running a business. Like your stock, like excuse me, it's always great to have stock in hand, and it's always great to just have it there for the consumer whenever they're ready to buy. But you just got to push it out even more for the consumer to see, so they're reminded of it. And it's like that's the one thing that I need to continue to keep doing, because like I low-key would just be like, you know what, I'm gonna promote it for a week straight, and then I'm gonna stop, and then just see if people remember. And then now I'm like I released like on the 27th, and I pushed out for a whole week. The people that saw it. The people that didn't, and they're like, bro, when are you releasing the tracksuit?
They just didn't know.
Yeah, I'm like, I just released it already, you know, like you gotta go check out the website. They're like, oh, you did? Why didn't you post anything about it? I'm like, oh, I posted for a week. They're like, oh, I just wasn't on that week. And I'm like, okay, like now I see the necessity to continue to just keep posting, because one person that sees it today isn't the same person that's gonna see it tomorrow. Yeah,
because different people view it different times, and I think the thing that you're trying to get at is like the balance between like creating and marketing. Like I heard a quote from one of my favorite guys who like runs a brand and everything. It's like, I have all the time and energy in the world to create, but I'm exhausted when it comes to marketing, because it's so annoying, and it's just like it feels like this necessity that you don't love, because there's nothing enriching about it, but it's needed because you have to. Yeah,
so it's like, bro, like I hate the fact, like sometimes I hate the fact that I have to push out to people to fall in love with my brand, rather than just having people see my brand and fall in love with it. But then I started to realize like how are people gonna see my brand if I don't push my brand out, you know?
Yeah, so it has to happen.
Yeah, it's like a little weird circle that's just like a little loop that just keeps going and going and going, that I'm like, okay, like even though I hate this part of this work, like especially being a new brand, like I have to do it. Yeah. Regardless if I want to, I have to do it.
Yeah. Do you feel like the way that you look at that, like I want people to latch onto the brand the first time they see it, or like when they see it like a couple of times, do you think that comes from your view as a consumer? Because I don't know for you, but like I see some, and depending on like one or two things I see, I'll know if I really like it or not, if I like where they're going with it. Like, is that the same for you?
Yeah, it's the same thing for me. So like, what brand did I recently just fall in love with? House of Errors.
House of Errors?
Yeah, House of Errors.
I think I've seen a couple of things.
Yeah, so like they have like the big eye, and like it's like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so like I would always see their pieces and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like I was never like, oh, like I'm gonna, like I would buy, and I would just see it over and over again. And then they had this marketing strategy recently that was like the New York Stock Exchange like crash, market crash, but they related it into a term of like fashion, like Black Friday. They did it on Black Friday. Like they did that whole theme, and I was like, bro, that whole concept just made me fall in love with your brand.
Yeah, it's sick.
Like the piece, it's like most of the pieces I'm like, okay, like I don't know if I would buy this piece or that piece, but the concept and the work that you put behind your brand is what made me like fall in love with it. It's just like the consistency that the designer had with the brand of pushing it out no matter what. He just kept pushing, and
and just the well-rounded idea. I think like if you could see someone execute a full campaign for something, that's my favorite. Like I don't know if you know Fugazi.
Yeah,
that's like they do it in my favorite way possible, because they're creative with it and they get funny with it too.
Yeah, so like that's the one thing like I'm trying to implement with like my brand is creating like campaigns that are funny, that are friendly,
Yeah.
and people and in a way that people will see over and over again, you know.
Or come back to.
Yeah,
honestly.
come back to. And
Yeah.
like I'm new to it, so like obviously I don't know everything, but like definitely like that's like the direction I really want to take, because my mindset before when I first started, like first announced it and everything, was I'm gonna post these pictures, I'm gonna run ads on it and everything, and people, like, if people see it this first time, I hope they follow and I hope they buy. That's it.
Yeah, it's just the first time.
Yeah,
thing,
there was never no, okay, like with marketing, bro, there's so much behind it that I'm barely learning, but it's like, you have to target, like, you have to get something that grabs aware, like makes the customer aware of your brand. Now that you got them aware of your brand, what's the next type of marketing piece to get them intrigued by your brand?
Yeah,
you know?
it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
Like I learned about it in a class or something, but like when someone latches on or when someone sees it, and then it transitions into, okay, they're on the verge of like purchasing, and then say they purchase, how do you keep them interested for another purchase? It's so multifaceted.
It's so like, bro, when I say like it blows my mind, like I've tried it with my last campaign. I didn't do so well with it, but you know, like I know now, like with future pieces, how I'm going to do it. But like I've learned, like, okay, like this one caught this person's attention. Like this piece in this way caught this person's attention. Now how do I retain it? Now is the part, like, okay, I like that's the part that I'm missing, is how to
why
retain.
Did it catch the attention?
like why did it catch their attention, you know? Now how do I retain their attention, all that stuff. Like I'm missing that part. And I'm going from awareness into purchase, rather than awareness, fill their like why should I buy, and then purchase, and then after they purchase, why should they become a loyal customer?
Why should they stay?
Why should they stay? So it's like I'm missing those key things, but like I'm learning, like, while I go, like, with further pieces, like even with just packaging stuff, like
just the whole experience,
the whole experience.
It's all user experience.
Exactly. So like I'm learning all of that while I'm going right now, and it's been hard, because like when some days I'm just sitting in bed where I'm just like, bro, like I won't go to sleep. Like I know I have to be up like at 6 a.m. and I'll be up at like midnight 1, just thinking like, how do I create like how do I create a better user experience for people? Like how do I get people to buy more? Like how do I get them to engage with the brand more? And while I'm doing that, I'm just like, damn, like I'm missing all these pieces, and I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And now it's like, okay, you have all this stuff that you're not doing. How do you do it now? Like, what is the first step? What's
the plan? How do you even get started? As much as that thing sucks about staying up mind racing, I think it's like, I've experienced it too with this, but I think it is a good sign, because it shows how much you actually care. And it just shows that you want to make it better.
Exactly. So like, I'll have my days. I think I had one not too long ago. Actually, I had one the day that like I got like my whole bulk order in with the tracksuits. I kid you not, like it actually blew my mind when I put everything on like my living room floor. Just looking at all these pieces, I'm like, how am I going to sell out of all of these?
Like, it's kind of like a panic mode a little bit.
So like now I'm like, okay, do I need to create another campaign? Do I need to do this? What do I do? So like, I kid you not, I was like, you know what? My mind started racing so fast that I was like, I have to step back. And then I tried to go sleep. My mind started again. I was like,
you were not sleeping that night.
Yeah, I was not sleeping that night. I started looking up YouTube videos. I started looking up Vogue Runway magazine. Like, how do people do this stuff? Like, how do they campaign all this stuff? Started looking at favorite brands that I like inspire to be like, you know. And I'm like, you know what? I'm overanalyzing it. I just need to sincerely just put out a post every single day that says, my tracksuit is available. Go buy.
Keep going. Like, keep it consistent.
And while I'm doing that is create an interesting story to go along with it at the same time, you know, because people
pushing your vision.
People love storytelling at the same time. So like that's why I'm also trying to get into like pushing behind the scenes, but I'm also not trying to force myself to get burnt out from pushing behind the scenes, because it does create a creative block. And
it takes a lot too. Like I saw the video that you made. It's just quick editing, like short form kind of video, but just like those take a while, as much as it is just 15 seconds. Or whatever.
Oh man, that whole little clip where people saw like 5 seconds of me on that software was probably 45 minutes of me figuring out just how to lay the pattern on the body.
Just how to work the thing in a way that looks cool on video.
So I'm over here stressing out in the video. I'm like, bro, I don't think people are gonna understand this
like,
at
what is
all.
it?
Like, what is
Is
this?
he just on his computer?
Yeah,
but
like what is this? So like,
it translated well. I'll tell you
yeah.
that.
So I appreciate that. So like, now at that point when I posted that video was probably from, I want to say like July. I'm not gonna lie
Really?
to you.
Wow.
That's not any
That's
time
nothing new,
recent.
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
So I was like, you know what? Like, I had this video sitting. I'm just gonna push it out to people. I'm just gonna collage it with the behind the scenes that I did of the shoot,
Mhm.
and just kind of show people like the behind the scenes of like this whole project itself. Just
Yeah.
whatever. Like, it doesn't make sense. It didn't get that many views. I don't really care right now. But
Yeah,
like,
it's all about just doing it. Because I think if you get caught up in the analytics early on, it's like I try not even to look, because I'm not doing this to be like, oh, I got 100.
Yeah.
I'm like,
sometimes.
it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you obviously do look.
Sometimes, sometimes you get so distracted. You're like, yo, I just pushed out this video. Did it get 1,000 likes yet?
Yeah.
Did it get 1,000 views yet? Did it blow up? Is this the one that blows up?
Yeah. The blow up thing is tough, because like you're in a place with like TikTok and Instagram and everything where you can post something random. Like my first one got 1,000 views and I thought it was gonna get 10.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, now that happened once, it's like, oh, is it gonna happen this time? And if it doesn't, it's kind of like, oh, is it a letdown?
Yeah.
But it's all just like, it's all these kind of like, for me, it's these hoops that you have to kind of jump through to stay level-headed throughout the whole thing, because it's such an up and down with like just anything creative.
That's so true. Like, my TikTok page, like, to be honest, at one point I felt like it was the algorithm just trying to do me and stuff. But like, I really think it's just a matter of like, I'm not that consistent with it, and like, I'm not, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Like my content is obviously like learning. It's like, it has like its own learning purposes and stuff, but at the same time, it's not in a way that like still intrigues people, I feel like, in a sense. So it's like, I understand why it's not getting pushed out, because TikTok algorithm is a whole chaotic mess.
It's crazy, yeah. And they promote consistency, but it just like kind of depends on what you're doing. And it depends if you're like got an account that like just goes. Yeah. Like sometimes you can just make a new one and it goes. Yeah.
So like, the one thing that I've learned though too is like, you have to go on the platform where your work is doing the best. So like, for me, IG's doing way better in terms of like reels compared to TikTok. Yeah. And I don't know why I'm nervous. Like, I've said this to like a couple of my friends. Yeah. But I'm so nervous to post like the behind the scenes work that I've done on TikTok on my IG personal page for some reason. Yeah. I don't know why. Like, I have that little creative. You don't want to mess up
what's going right or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like it's something like that. It makes no sense to me. I'm still trying to figure that out in my own head. Yeah. But I'm like, bro, like, do I not want people to like come to my own personal page? Do I not want people to like see how chaotic I am? Like, what is it?
Is the personal page too far, or is it like that's another thing that I've been thinking about? But I think at this point in time, I mean, this for me, like the personal page kind of helps because it shows like I'm a real person.
Yeah, like
it shows that it's not just some
like I'm just a bot or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or it shows that you're like some drop shipper.
Yeah.
Or something
So
like that.
yeah, because the one thing is, I feel like with time nowadays, it's just we have I call them the bros, where they do drop shipping. They wake up 6 o'clock in the morning.
I know exactly.
They're talking about motivation, and they're like, if you don't do this, you're not living life, and you're just gonna stay bored. And this is my way to make $1 million from drop shipping and all this stuff. And like, I feel like creating pages, like, that's all you see now, is that like they dedicated a whole new page to that. And like,
or it's a lot of what you see, and it could have been fine to start out with, but now it's just like, it's just laughed at. So you don't want anything of yours to fall into that category.
I don't want it to resonate where it's like I'm talking about like my fashion in this way, that way, and people are like, bro, like, you sound like just one of those bros that are like, bro, just come buy my stuff. Like, if you're not buying my stuff, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, no, I don't think it comes across like that, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's a real worry.
Yeah, so like, that's been like the biggest thing for me. So it's like, at the same time, I've been having my moments where I'm like, you know what, like, people know I'm a real person on my own personal page. Yeah. So I really do need to start pushing more behind the scenes, or more of the projects that I'm creating, and start getting, opinions on what they feel about it, in order to kind of get more engagement going, as well as people knowing that, like, at the end of the day, I'm just a regular person, just like they are,
Bring some life to it, because you see the brand in there. It might not be clear who's behind it.
Exactly. Because like, there's certain things like people see on social media. So like, I feel like if I just created a whole new page and I just posted things that I'm doing with the brand, then they think like I'm just a person that has like a luxury lifestyle brand,
Mm-hmm.
living such a luxury lifestyle, and
Yeah.
I'm traveling all over the place, and I'm this and that. When in reality, I'm probably at the crib like
Yeah, just hanging
a
out
majority of the time.
where
You
you
know,
live. Yeah.
part-time job,
Yeah.
playing soccer, being with friends and family,
Uh huh.
and then working on the brand at the same time and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, like doing normal things, but like
Yeah.
people will only see a certain aspect, and it's like,
I like that version a lot more though, because I mean if you view people in that kind of natural light, then I feel like a lot more people gravitate to that because
yeah,
they can relate. Like
yeah, exactly.
I can't relate with the dude who's going to Italy. Like you see
Nah.
him at a cafe drinking coffee, and then he has this brand on the side that just magically runs. Like you never see him doing shit with the clothes.
No, seriously.
But
So
like
like,
but like he's promoting every release. It's like
it,
is this dude even involved? Like no,
yeah,
I want to see the person who's in the
yeah.
trenches,
So
kind of
like,
just just
like,
thugging it out. Yeah.
like exactly. So like, I'll have like yesterday, like I posted a video of one of my closest friends. His name's Jay.
Mm-hmm.
He came over to my house actually to help me unload some stuff from a U-Haul, because like how we just recently moved and stuff.
Yeah.
Him and like two other friends, and he was like, bro, he's like, this is honestly insane to see this many like tracksuits, like pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, I've known you like my whole entire life, and to see you doing this is insane.
Yeah.
So like, bro just laid on top of it in a regular fit, whatever. Like
Oh, yeah, I saw
it
that.
wasn't,
That
yeah,
was
like
cool.
it wasn't
Yeah.
anything like crazy, but it was just a matter of like, bro was like, get like me, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, bro, we're at just a normal house doing a normal activity. Like we're literally about
Yeah.
to unload a U-Haul right now.
Yeah.
And he has a whole fit from training,
Uh-huh.
because we had finished a session in the morning for soccer. Bro was just over there laying on top of it, just chilling. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like people laughed at it and were like, bro, like this is
It's
sick.
cool, yeah.
Like actually I want to buy, like
Uh-huh.
I want to buy.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a little underrated how much humor or just like kind of just lightheartedness can play into like people latching onto it.
yeah,
So I think that helps a lot.
it does.
Like
So
what you're
like,
saying about laughing, like
yeah.
the picture with the laughing people.
yeah, so like the one thing that I want people to see is that like not only do like I want people to be attracted to my personal page in a way like they were attracted by the brand,
Mm-hmm.
but they also see like I'm doing other things that are like funny. Like
Yeah.
the other day I went shopping, I got myself these pair of jeans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want everybody on
Yeah,
it.
no,
But
keep
nah.
them off camera.
But like I had a friend that was like, oh my god, where did these jeans come from? Yeah, these jeans burnt, like the store that I got them from burnt
They
down
burned down, yeah,
right
yeah.
after I got them. So
Like,
I'm
you don't
sorry.
need to, you don't need to know about these.
You don't
like,
need to know about
You'll get
this.
there in about 6 months.
Yeah, you don't need to know about this. And then the next story was me having a bulk of all my tracksuits, and
Yeah.
people went from laughing to like, yo, this is sick. Like,
Yeah.
like I want to actually buy.
Uh-huh.
You know, like they're not looking at me as just like a robotic person that's like buy.
There's personality.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I feel like people nowadays fall in love with like who the person is behind the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like-
or they care because there's so many brands that it's like, okay, what makes this one different? Like, is the guy cool?
Yeah.
Because that's so many people latch on just because the guy who runs it is
Yeah, cuz like
personable.
everybody's making brands nowadays. Like we
Mhm.
were talking about, everybody has names that are not that meaningful because
Mhm.
they're just trying to push out brands to make money,
To make money, yeah.
which is cool. Like everybody, like
Mhm.
at the end of the day, they're thinking with a business mindset, but like those are the people that are like they have no identity behind themselves in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and people are like, huh, like they're just pushing out average pieces. Whether it's a graphic T-shirt that blows up, it's an
Yeah.
average piece, you know.
Yeah.
And now they're like, okay, why should I buy from this person? What makes
Mhm.
this person's graphic tee a lot better than a graphic tee I can go to the mall and find and buy?
Yeah.
You know,
Is there some effort behind it, or
Yeah.
is it just the mall online?
yeah,
Yeah.
like sincerely. So it's like, okay, that's what I want people to like. I don't want people to feel that way with my brand. Like I want
Yeah.
people to look at my brand and be like, okay, like this guy's authentic and everything. So like
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting to transfer the stuff that I do on my personal page onto like my business page.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a hard transition for me for some reason because it's
Yeah.
so like professional.
Yeah, you want it to be professional, but the personable stuff kind of gets
Yeah,
people. So
it
it's
gets
like, yeah.
people. So like now I'm just at a point where I'm like, you know what? Like instead of me having this whole structured plan that I had from the beginning, kind of just like letting loose of having like I said from the beginning, organized chaos. with
Yeah,
the
organized
brand.
chaos, but just natural
Yeah,
chaos.
just
in a
natural
way.
chaos. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like now like I'm gonna start posting a lot more projects on the business page to get
Mhm.
more people into the business page and like responding to the business page and knowing that like they're responding to an actual human being rather than just like
I approached the business page and it felt like I was talking to you through the personal account.
And
that's a good feeling too.
I was gonna hit you up on my regular page and I was like, bro, like we're still having the same conversation on my business page.
It's the
like,
same thing.
It's the same thing. So I was like, I want people to know like if they talk to me on my regular page, it's not gonna be a difference from my business page, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So that's like been like the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Just to kind of close it off, I wanted to ask if you've toyed around with the idea of like an in-person event, because I think those garner a lot of like local support and just local like feeling of community. It just seems like a good feeling to throw one of those. So have you thought about it? So
I actually have. I continually fight myself over it because like now's the perfect time. It's winter time. I have tracksuits. People are probably looking for cozy wear for the winter time and stuff. But like at the same time, something is like for me, I'm like, you know what? Like I don't want to do an in-person event just yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like
it doesn't feel right?
It doesn't feel right just yet for me. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm at the beginning of my business of having it grow.
Yeah.
But like I really want like people all over the place to like my main focus right now is like try to get to people different places because I think it's just the fact from me playing soccer, I've been able to connect with so many different people from all over the country, like different countries as well, different backgrounds, everything. So like it's been like the biggest thing. Like I've taken that big thing into like my business of just wanting to push out to those people so then they have something that's like, oh, like this is a brand from Utah, because you don't really hear about crazy Utah brands besides bats and akimbo and hard jewelry, you know? So like I look up to those dudes as like the big dogs for me, you know, like
they're kind of the blueprint.
They're kind of the blueprint for me of like how I really want my business to go, because I feel like I've taken an approach of wanting to promote to people out here, but like it's been very, very hard to a certain extent. So I don't know. I think maybe next year I'll think about doing like a local event, probably like a collaboration with Jose and the guys, Elliot and them, probably, hopefully.
Or just like put your stuff in an event that is surrounded by that kind of thing.
Yeah, so hopefully like I can get something that works like that, but my main goal is like we're in a time of like social media online. Yeah,
so you're trying to hit that more online audience and branch out to other places.
Yeah, so like even right now, like I'm trying to get into AI stuff. So like that's why you've seen all the 3D designing, like clothes and stuff. Like I want to build like a universe online in a sense with clothing, like online fashion shows and stuff, you know?
Yeah, kind of build a world with it.
Yeah, so like that's just kind of been my approach right now. It's just focused on that, but eventually I hope to do like a pop-up here, but not anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Just to end too, could you talk about one thing that's currently inspiring that you want to put anybody onto? You don't have to give up you have to give up the jeans or anything.
Yeah.
Could be a
one
person,
thing that's
like
inspiring. I'm not gonna lie. Houses have been like a big inspiring thing for me for some reason.
Like cool looking houses? Or
just like cool looking houses. Like even your place is like inspiring to me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
But like it's been more so like, okay, like I don't know if it's just in the sense of like I said, creating a lifestyle, creating that like universe and stuff. But like it's really got me into space. Like what do I like looking at all these houses and looking at all these spaces? What do I want to create my own space to be like?
Yeah.
And like
if you could have a space, what would it look like?
Like what would it look like? So it's like, okay, when I look at that type of stuff, I'm like, okay, like if I had my house, what kind of couch would I have? Oh, I'd have this couch. I'd be looking at couches and be like, yo, this is sick. Or can I make my own couch?
Yeah.
Like different types of things. So then now I kind of just go into a little world of like, I can't wait to be a homeowner. I can't wait to like buy my own house or like switch to different houses and all that stuff and create my own space, because like when you have your own space, your own element, like you're really just in your own element. You're really just in your own free will.
There's so much room to create and so much room to like tweak things and accessorize that it's like it really can be your own your own space. Yeah, so like for anybody that like is looking for some type of inspo, it's just really look at like what would you want your own creative, like what would your creative space look like? Yeah. How like how would you feel inside of your own creative space, you know? Or how could you make the surroundings make it so that you're comfortable in your own creative space,
Yup.
because that's a huge thing. If you
Exactly.
feel like you're not supposed to be there or you're not safe there or whatever, you can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So like
Yeah.
the biggest thing is like I don't have an office space right now. I'm doing everything from my bedroom. But
Mhm.
like, how do I make my bedroom feel like a creative space?
Or like an
Because-
office space where it's
yeah.
like where it's work focused, say like, or you might have like an Xbox there, but how do you make it not feel like you want to go hop
Oh,
on the
but
game?
like, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
like, I'll look at my like I put my PS5 to the side because I have it to the side whenever I want to game and
Yeah.
stuff. Yup.
Yep. Mine's right to the side.
But like I put two of my monitors together
Uh-huh.
and like I have like a L desk, I guess you can say in
Yeah,
a way.
yeah.
So like
I get you.
there's a part of my room where I'm like, if I sit in this part of my room, it's
Mhm.
work related. But as
Yeah.
soon as I lay on my bed, it's
You're
purely
out.
just relaxed. Like I'm relaxed. Like I try to tell myself and I force myself not to do any work in bed
Mhm.
because I don't want to be in bed trying to create when I have a desk literally
Mhm.
right there. So like that's the one thing that I've been working on is just trying to turn my room into like a creative safe space for myself.
Yeah.
Because you know, not everybody has the funds to go buy a office space
Or rent a studio
or
for a
rent a
K
studio
month. Yeah,
like
it's like
for
you don't need
1,500 a
to
month,
if you're
yeah.
on a slow on a
Yeah,
like a lower
like-
scale.
like take what you have right now and think about how you would create your own space and like reorganize it just little by little.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm a big believer in upscaling when it's completely necessary, when like you
Yeah.
cannot achieve what you want to unless you have this other thing.
Yeah.
But if you haven't maxed out what you can do here, why move? Like
Exactly.
why get this new
Exactly.
scenery and then waste all this money?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that's been the biggest thing for me is, you know, utilizing the space I have and turning it into my own free creative space and being
Mhm.
a person that's like, okay, if I had a bigger creative space, how would it look? How would I feel? Okay, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
What can I do to obtain being like getting there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. How do I
can
get there?
Yeah, how do I get there? How do I obtain that life for myself,
Mhm.
you know? So just houses, spaces just
Totally,
been
yeah.
a big inspiration for me cuz
Super inspiring idea too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
cuz like for 1 minute I was like, bro, what if I was living in like Europe, somewhere in the
Mhm.
Netherlands? Like
yeah.
if I had a house out there, how would it look? And I started looking up different places in the Netherlands and stuff.
Mhm.
And I was like, damn, like if I lived there, what would I be doing? How like who would I be networking with?
Yeah, how would you
like,
move in the Netherlands?
Yeah, like how would I move in the Netherlands? I'm like,
That's
okay.
crazy.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, like how would my business be looking at that point, you know? So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, how do I orchestrate my business to like
Mhm.
follow that path? Like who do I see myself like connecting with
Yeah,
in
or
a sense?
it's another thing. Just how do you get there?
Yeah.
So
So
what does it look like? How you get there?
yeah, so I'm just like, okay, like definitely it starts off with me just being consistent.
Yeah, totally.
Like-
it does
like
come down to
just-
consistency.
just-
The root of it.
Just being consistent and just literally having fun with the whole process because
Mhm.
at one point like I'll get there and then just buying little things that like correlate to like the space that I want to have and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting the little things. Once the space starts to feel small
Mhm.
and I feel like I'm at a point where I can get a bigger space, then get a bigger space.
Yeah.
And then work off of that and then repeat the same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
So
Just work as hard as you can with what you have.
yeah, so like
Yeah.
that's really just been my biggest motivation. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie.
Yeah,
So
that's great. Well, thank you for having this conversation. I
of
really
course,
appreciate
man,
it. Yeah.
Of course, man.
All right.
Appreciate you, man.
I'll catch you guys on the next one.
See you guys.